Hello, friend. Happy Sunday to you, and welcome to our Reflection Sunday. My name is Stephen Omiri, and it's my hope and prayer that you have been graciously well in the last few weeks. In the last few days, we did not have time to reflect together, but today I'm grateful that God has permitted for us to sit together and share and reflect on important things about life. So today we look at life from three perspectives, and it will help us to understand the way we chase things. We look at life from three dimensions. Life as a vanity, described by or from the perspective of Ecclesiastes. And again, we look at life as a suffering from Job's perspective. We also look at life as love from a descriptions given to us by Song of Songs. These three books, I consider them as a great wisdom book. If you read them keenly and pay attention to the choice of words, you know the wisdom in those words. And you can relate them to the life that you live today or the life of your friends and your family, how we are chasing life. But before we begin, I want to look at a word said by Mark Twain. Mark Twain once said that in life, there are two important days in one's life. Your life and mine, there are two important days. I believe you already know what are these days that are important. Many might think is the day you were born and the day that you die. You're not far from the truth. But this is what Mark Twain said, that the day you were born is the day you were born. That day is important in one's life. He again said, the second day that is important to one's life is the day that you figure out why you were born. The day you will figure out why you were born. What a great statement from a great man. Today we mark one important day. Most of us celebrate our birthdays. But majority of us do not have yet to figure out why they were born. And this summarizes our discussion today. Our reflection today is on life itself. Because we struggle, we are chasing a lot of things. We are running after a lot of things. A thing that have no meaning. A things that even if we have them, we don't find fulfillment. But why? It's because we have not figured out why we were born. So we look at life as a vanity. Life as a vanity. Look at it this way, friend. Have you look at your life or a life of someone that you know? You have, and you find out that you have everything that you want and you had desire. You have them. But despite that, you still find emptiness. You still find loneliness. You still see your life as hopeless. Why is it that we have what we want, what we desire, unfortunately, we still find emptiness in our life? Why is that? And that's the focus of the book of Ecclesiastes. The book of Ecclesiastes look at life as meaningless, but that is not the actual definition. It did not mean that life is meaningless. No. In essence, when we live our life only from the perspective of material world, we'll still find life as meaningless. Why? Because there's a bigger thing that is missing in our life, and that is the source of those things that we own. God is missing in our life. When you don't have life, when you don't have God in your life, friend, I can assure you, I can promise you, without fear of contradiction, that you will have everything you own, but you will not be happy. Your happiness will be always fluctuating up and down. Why? There's a bigger thing that is missing in your life. That thing is God. We see in the book of Job, we see the Satan, the devil, appear before God. If you read the past part of Job, we see him appearing before God. And because he knows that the material thing can be used against people, he come to God and tell God that Job respect God, Job love God, because God has blessed everything that he has put his hand on. He has blessed him with a donkey. He has blessed him with family. He has blessed him with camel. He has blessed him with everything that he wanted. He has a many servants. And the Satan used that against Job. Complained to God that Job is only after material, is respecting God because of the material thing that God has permitted, has given Job in his life. Look at that, friend. What happened to Job? Job, God permit the devil to do to Job what he want to do. But with a caveat, God tells the devils never touch his life, but you can do anything with. And we see Job loses his children, his wealth, and everything that he owned in the material world. And again, the devil appeared to God because Job did not curse God. He remained steadfast. He knew from his words, the naked I came, the naked I shall come, and the dust I shall return to. And the devil come to God and say, no, you have not touched his body. And again, God permits the devil to inflict suffering on Job. And if you read the book, you will see how Job felt. But he has never turned against God because he knew his life is meaningless without God, and his life belonged to God. God owned his life. He do not own his life. And even when his wife turned against him, when his three friends turned against him, he saw them in the world realm. He did not see them in the spirit realm because they were limited. They tried to question, to judge Job from the angle of the humanness and not from what God intended in suffering. I don't know what situation you are in currently, friend. What I'm sure about is you might be struggling. You might be sick. You might be struggling to pay the school fees of your child or even the hospital bill. Or you'll be chasing a career in you struggling, that I am sure many of us go through that struggling in life. But I can guarantee you one thing, friend. God is supreme, is aware of that situation, and you come to him. He's mighty. He's a giver, he's a provider. He will change your story. And that transitions us to the books of Song about love. Actually, God is love. That is all about God. God is love. How do we know that? He sent out his son, his beloved son, to die for us, to reconcile us with himself. And the book of Song, if you read Song of Song, it will tell you, it tell you about mighty God, almighty, a greater God that is full of love. Friend, let your struggle not define you. Your struggle does not define you. Instead, your struggle gives you meaning of life. It allows you to understand why you were born. As Mark Twain said it, the two important days in one's life is the day you were born and the day you will figure out why you were born. I do not know whether you have figured out your why, because if you figure out your why, you will know the intention of God for your life. Today is a Sunday. I strongly encourage you to go to your church. Go to your church and pray. 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 That is the only tool we have in life. Prayer is the key. Prayer connects us to God. Pray. And ask God what you want. And listen to his voice. Do not listen to the voice of your friends only. Listen to the voice of God. Because everything we have is temporary. And that is what the three books I have just mentioned in summary described about life. Life has suffering. Life has empty, meaningless, vanity, as described by Ecclesiastes. And I strongly believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I strongly believe the books of Ecclesiastes was written by Solomon. And you know the life of Solomon, what he had, the wealth that God blessed him, and based on his experience and how he has lived his life, he writes the book of Ecclesiastes. If you go at the end of the book of Ecclesiastes, you see the summary of the whole books. He narrowed it down to God. He narrowed it down to God. After all the description he has given, he used the word under the sun many times in that book to describe the universe. And they narrow it down to God. Friend, let us not bank on what we have. They are temporary. I can tell you for free, they are temporary. The book says, what can it profit a man if you gain the whole world and loses his souls? What can it profit a man? Just look at your life when you are sick. You feel so vulnerable. Worries flat in your mind. Thought of death, thought of you losing your friends come in your mind. Why is that? You don't think of your material thing anymore, and they become meaningless. They become irrelevant to your sickness. But when you find God, you can see him around you, and calmness surrounds you. Serenity surrounds you. The presence of God in our life is important. I would encourage you, friends, to go to your church, fellowship with fellow Christians, and God will hear your cry. Life is a vanity. Life is suffering. Life is love. Thank you, and may God bless you.